Welcome to Art and Soul. I'm Kelly MacIntyre, and on this week's program, I get a chance to start things off by sitting center stage with the talented Cassandra Warner for a fabulous interview. Next, we're going to be visiting some more artists for the studio tour. We get a chance to go behind the scenes with Sandra Spagnuolo, as well as heading to Crawford Lake to meet Ian Ridpath, and finishing up the program with a live performance right on the water by Stephen Rivers. Don't go anywhere. After studying at the Glenn Gould School of Music, Cassandra Warner took her talents and that incredible voice around the world, traveling extensively and actually becoming an ambassador for classical music. And Cassandra, I'm thrilled to have you here. We're on center stage with our backdrop of the piano. This upcoming concert, it's more of an intimate style, and it's you, your voice, and Peter on a grand piano, and you're back in your hometown, and sort of it's intimate, but maybe take us through the repertoire and what that evening is going to look like for people coming out.
Right, of course. I mean, I'm thrilled, absolutely, to be here in my hometown of Milton, Ontario. This is a dream for me. It's an incredible hall. The acoustics are fantastic. I am going to be surrounded by friends and family. I have Peter Tiefenbach on the keys. I can't believe it. He is a longtime friend and coach, someone who I studied with for many years at the Glenn Gould School of Music, of the Royal Conservatory in Toronto. And he is an incredible pianist, composer, and coach.
And that intricate blend of vocals and that piano, it's almost a dance of sorts, because you're bare because it's just the voice and piano. So how does that dance go back and forth? You must trust him incredibly just to work together in that kind of a, form.
Completely.
Yeah.
You have to be able to feel like you can fall back and someone will catch you when you are a performer.
And you're not just a regular performer where you stand up and you do your beautiful, you're singing and serenading an audience. You interact with the audience and there's a conversation going on.
Yes.
I find that fascinating for people as well.
I think it's incredibly important to be able to speak with your audience, to inform them of what it is that you are actually presenting to them. I find that in opera especially, we sing in so many languages that not all people are going to understand them. And so I think it is very important that we give a background and that we interact with our audience and have a good time. It doesn't have to be very stuffy. It's going to be, I think, a very fun and enjoyable experience for all.
Which is going to be great. And the other thing, as I mentioned earlier, you've done extensive traveling around the world.
Yes.
Lots of incredible stories with just meeting people. But there's one in particular, when you're first starting this journey in the music industry, East meets West, a visit to China years ago. Tell us a little bit about that.
Strangely enough, while I was at the Royal Conservatory studying, a few friends and I were asked to perform in China. So we found ourselves, lo and behold, these Canadian kids across the ocean and in a foreign country performing and bringing opera to the masses. We were singing for thousands of people. We had billboards with faces several 100 feet big, and we couldn't believe that we were in that situation and scenario, and 10 flights in 13 days, and it was just surreal.
Well, you know what I was going to say, the power to inspire is powerful. And I think we're on the same page with inspiring this next generation, a love of the classics, and that's why I say an ambassador of sorts, because you instill a love for classical music. And how do you feel about engaging with youth and the importance of bringing that to the forefront now with classical music?
Oh, I am extremely passionate and believe myself to be an ambassador for the art form, because Canada is still a young country. In a sense, we have all of this art and culture, and we need all of the support we can possibly get. We need to get children involved. We need to get people of all ages out to these performances, because they're very important to the fabric of the community and to growth and enjoyment. I mean, it's fantastic to be able to have everyone involved.
Well, the thing is, we're coming off the heels of the Olympics, and you see these professional athletes, and they make it look so easy. The same as a professional entertainer and an artist. Do you think there's some kind of a correlation between the two, that just that work, the dedication of a family, a community in lots of cases, the support system? Do you think you could compare those two?
Of course. Most of the time I compare myself to an athlete because physically as a performer I'm using so many different muscles, so many different mechanisms are involved to be able to produce what it is that I produce. It seems miraculous, but it takes years and years of training to get to that point. And just like the athletes in the Olympics, you know, you really have to work hard and you have to study your craft to the best of your ability.
But after this performance, which is going to be incredible,
thank you.
What's next for you? So that's the night after that performance and the morning after. What are you going to hit the ground running with? What's your exciting project you're involved in?
I am involved in several different projects. The next being with Vancouver Opera. I'm performing Pirates of Penzance, as well as the Saskatoon Symphony Orchestra, a couple of performances with them. This concert here at the Milton Centre for the Arts is October 5th at 8 p.m. and will be just a fantastic time for friends and family to come out and to come see what it is that their hometown girl has been working on for several years and is now ready to share.
And for information on the concert, we can go to your website as well as the Art Center website for all that information?
Well, I would suggest going to www.miltonconcertpresentations.com. That would be the place to go to find all of the information regarding the concert. And it's here at the Milton Centre for the Arts. So this is the place to go, and there will be another performance as well. There are so many this season. I'm very excited about this with Opera Atelier of Toronto at Elgin Theatre. So that will be in April. The Magic Flute is the performance.
Cassandra Warner, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for being on the program.
Thank you very much.
Well, now we're going to take you behind the scenes with the last two artists we're going to be featuring before this year's studio tour. The first is Sandra Spagnuolo, and we're actually hitting the road with Sandra. We're going to go shopping for treasures with her and then take it back to her studio to see what she creates and the magic she creates on canvas. The next person, we're hitting the road to Crawford Lake. This is Ridpath. Stepping away from his corporate career, he's now a talented oil painter. Well, I'm here with artist Sandra Spagnuolo, and you're a mixed media artist, but we're in Wastewise, and you turn treasures into artwork. And I thought this is really interesting to step behind the scenes here and through your eyes travel through Wastewise and see what you're looking at and how you turn it into your art form. So welcome to the program. And again, this is leading up to the studio tour, so nice to get a chance to step behind the scenes and get to know what you're doing.
Thank you very much, Kelly. I'm glad that you came out today so that you could see as I do my little treasure hunt. So I've been hunting around. I've come up with a few things that I want to show you that are going to be turned into a piece on a canvas. So we'll look at that later on. But here are some of the things that I picked up today. I was searching through, and you can see there's a lot of great stuff to look for. I love to find things that are kind of quirky and are going to be fun to play with. It's really about playing with your art. So I picked up this board game. So we're going to have some fun with that later because it's got some great pieces inside of it. I don't know if you can see that, but some game pieces. Here, we got some game pieces. Like, look at that.
Well, the thing is, and even for the viewers to realize, so when you talk about mixed media, you're incorporating different components. So when you're saying something like this, and you'll show us later on how you do that, but you'll actually adhere that to a canvas with other things, and it becomes a theme of a piece?
So that's what I'm going for. I already have a piece in mind. I already have a canvas in mind, and I'm starting to put it together almost like a story.
A story, like a storyboard on canvas.
Right.
So you've got this kind of thing, and then you've also collected some books as well, and interesting textures on some of these older books, right?
And I like that it's kind of damaged, so that I'm not taking something that somebody, somebody's going to be wanting. But I love just the print, just the coloring of the paper, the way that it's changed. This is an old ledger book. Now I've asked them to kind of hold on to ones that have been printed in. This one's not actually printed in, but even better if it had had somebody's writing, someone's record of
and
whatever.
again, you take that, mount it onto a canvas, and just add something to it.
Acrylic medium is going to hold it all down to the canvas. Acrylic gel is going to hold some of the bigger pieces.
Okay.
I picked up this little quote book, and we're going to use it. We're going to look for a quote out of here.
So you could get a theme for a whole piece by just an idea of a couple of sentences.
Right, it becomes like the beginning of the story. It kind of leads it through. I really like this as well. This is
a pattern.
Patterns like you would make clothing, right? So
I'm seeing a pattern. What are you seeing?
You're seeing a pattern.
What are you seeing?
What I'm seeing is these arrows. I love these arrows. I love that they're blue. They come in different colors. But you know, suddenly you have this piece that you can use. You can use the words, and because it's on a tissue, it's going to incorporate beautifully into the piece, and I love that. I love that you can do that with it.
Okay. You got me curious now. I don't know about you guys, but I don't know how this is all going to come together. Okay. And your
silver
spoon.
Spoons. There was this little container of silver spoons here at Wastewise, and I just went and picked up a couple. And you know, okay, so it's curved. Maybe we're not going to use it this way. A hammer will fix that nicely. And then I love, this is kind of like a little bit of, it's like a sign, you know, you put a little piece of information in there and suddenly this becomes the piece, right, which is fabulous.
And the thing is, here you've got your books, there's games centers, there's records, there's everything you can imagine from china cups. So I mean, you must come here and just get inspired.
I do,
right?
I do. I can wander through, and it's kind of like picking little pieces of somebody's life and putting it together, and it's great. I think that's everything that I picked up for today. So it's going to be fun for me to show you how we turn that into a mixed media piece.
So you've got ideas now from these,
yes,
and then we're going to actually take that to the studio and show how you sort of get your arrows and your quotes and get that onto canvas.
Put it all together and kind of piece it together. We're just going to do a little piece with this one, but it'll be fun to see where it ends up.
Perfect. Okay. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
So, Kelly, we were over at Wastewise, and now we're back here in the studio. This is my place where I'm going to do some work. So here's the finished piece. You can hold that. Yeah, you hold that up.
So you've got your words.
Yeah, so I'll show you kind of how we got here. So the canvas, I start the canvas by layering in papers, some different materials to give me some texture underneath, and you can see it coming up here. And that's actually coming from the different books. Actually, you can see here this sheet of paper, like this one here, that we had, and it's layered in here, and you can see it there. And as I add layers of acrylic on top, it kind of blends into the background, but creates some interest. So
to attach it, I mean, you think of, it's not really, it's not glue. I mean, it's something that's going to actually blend on top of this. It's got a shine to the top. So what do you get everything to anchor it with?
This is called, do you want to hold it over there? Just
yeah,
put it
sure.
over here? We'll put it, This is called acrylic medium, and I'll show you how it pours out. Okay. And it is like a glue. It's actually a polymer. It's a plastic base.
No, it's white, but you can see through.
You can see right through that. It's white,
okay,
but it's going to dry clear. And this is a gloss finish, so it will dry 100% clear.
So everything's attached with that onto
Everything's
your
attached with that. The only thing that you might want to use on this to attach these bigger pieces is you would go to a gel base. So that's just less water, more polymer, more plastic in it to hold it together. And when it's sealed, this thing is permanent. It's not going anywhere, and it's great. So you just spread it on, and then you just lay your pieces on. Even if I do it right here, you can see it. I'm going to just lay it in here. This is a piece of wax paper. It's still going to hold it just the same.
Okay.
And I can just over and under. So you're putting it underneath, and you're putting it back on top, and it's just going to hold it.
Drying time, like how long? Sheet. You kind of let it sit overnight?
It depends on the moisture in the air, but you're looking about 20 minutes.
So it takes out into a whole interesting area, because you think of just getting a canvas and painting, but the shopping today at Wastewise, I mean, it just makes these treasures you can find, even in your home, or just going to a place and grabbing some things and then learning how to adhere. And you get into the teaching side of things too, with explanation. So if people were even interested in this kind of medium, how are they looking for mixed media, acrylic, or what's the name of this sort of?
You're looking for mixed media, but that can get confusing when you start to go on the internet and you start typing in, and you're looking for mixed media painting.
Mixed media painting.
Using acrylic, using other media to mix them together, and then with this particular one, we're doing it with an acrylic base. Everything's on an acrylic base, even that you're using other objects, like the spoon, where I hammered it out, and you ended up with the piece, snapped it off, and you put it on. Right. It's all mounted.
And as we look behind us, I mean, it's endless. I mean, the possibilities from the butterfly, you've got the abstract. Now, the studio tour, we're going to be together.
Yes, we are.
Over at the Nassagaweya Tennis Center, right at 401 and Guelph Line. And it's going to be great, because you're going to have a lot of different, we've got varieties of sizes, you know, these pieces and larger pieces, so it's going to be wonderful. And then for people to get a hold of you, again, for commissions and things like that, or even questions.
Yeah. you want me to tell you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So creating art now at blogspot.com. So you can get
Fabulous.
me there. Yeah.
Thank you for taking us on the journey.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Well, I'm here on the edge of Crawford Lake with this beautiful backdrop, but also the inspiration to this fabulous oil painting behind me. And I'm sitting here with Ian Ridpath. This is your office. This is your studio. These fabulous locations, and it's just incredible. And as we look at this painting, we're actually in the setting of where you took the photo to create this.
Exactly. This same tree is right behind me. And of course, I painted this in the fall. I love the autumn colors, and it just looks so good around here with the autumn. It's just a painter's paradise.
A painter's paradise, and also challenging too, because behind us, I don't know if the camera can pick it up, a little bit of movement even in the water, and as the sun hits the water, I think that's fascinating with oil painters, is how to create that ripple effect and tonally on the canvas. So maybe explain a little bit about how that technique works.
Well, generally with any painting, but with oils especially, I tend to put the background in first, then I will last thing put in the trees. But in order to get the reflections on the water, you simply paint the same image, upside down of course.
Okay.
Then you take a dry brush and you simply pull down on the paint, and it makes that reflection. You can probably see in the far shore, you can actually see that reflection. So the artist just pulls it down, and that's the trick.
And you know what, I was saying, you paint landscapes. You're in a family of artists, and again, you've got brothers that paint. Is everybody sort of inspired by that sort of group of seven flavor to their artwork, or is everybody sort of a little bit different?
No, we all do landscapes. We all do oil painting. My dad oil painted, and he actually knew quite a few members of the group of seven. Spent some time with them, and I think learned some things, and he taught me. And my eldest brother paints very much this style. The other brother, who's still alive, he paints more of a softer style. He still does landscapes, but it's a softer style. But I like the chunky, I like the rough paint,
texture
lots of paint.
Yeah. Which is great.
Really
and the nice thing is as well, you do a lot of commission work, but you're sort of buildings and places that touch people's hearts, you can recreate on a canvas. And so if it was, you say you get photos from a cottage in Muskoka, or it could be a farmhouse that's been in the family for generations, people can contact you and you actually recreate that in your beautiful oils through your eyes on canvas.
That's correct. I tend to do it as an impressionist style. That is, I don't draw every leaf on the tree to make a tree look like a tree. So I use my artistic license, as it's said, and I generally give them what it looks like through my eyes.
And the other thing you've been painting, I'm in the art world as well. It's changing, Ian. I think there's the galleries and different things, but how do you find social media is helping artists these days? And you're big on uploading images and you know, using that sort of website as a tool for sale. How do you find that with right now? You know,
well,
for
I think
artists,
it's great.
and connecting artists as well.
I think it's great for an artist who doesn't have galleries around the country that are showing his paintings, because you can create your own page. You can put all your paintings up. It's like having several websites, especially things like Facebook and those places. You can have pages plus your own, and you can link. One artist links to the other, and we can all show each other's paintings.
And share stories or share experiences and things like that. And we've got to share with the audience as well.
Absolutely.
You're part of this fabulous studio tour, as well as, you know, year-round doing your commissions. We're here at Crawford Lake, which is, you know, one of your settings for your gorgeous spot, but you're going to be at the Harib. So maybe tell everybody where you're going to be showing this this studio tour.
The last weekend in September, that's September 29th and 30th, is the annual Fine Arts Society of Milton studio tour. It's the 13th. And I'll be showing along with another artist at the gallery upstairs at Harib Restaurant, it's called. It's on Steeles Avenue, Avenue
Just
East.
down from Home Hardware?
Just down from Home Hardware.
And it's the Freeman building, is it?
Correct, it's the Red Barn that's there, and I'll be showing a lot of my new works, but some of the older works as well.
And sizes. You have the smaller pieces right up to the larger
canvases
canvases available?
As a matter of fact, I have one of the smaller pieces over there. But I like the large ones. I was actually influenced to paint larger paintings by yourself.
I challenged you. Ian, I always saw Ian was doing these gorgeous small paintings, and I challenged you to a 36 by 36 canvas.
You actually bought the canvas.
You rose to the occasion, and you're not looking back, I see, so I'm very proud.
I'd like to do larger ones, except that they don't fit in my car.
And again, for more information, if people have got questions, if they wanted to contact you again for commissions, or just, you know, join up maybe if they're an artist watching, how do they get a hold of you, Ian?
Well, the easiest way is through the website, www.ianridpath.ca. not .com. I have a friend in England. His name is Ian Ridpath, and he's got .com. ianridpath.ca. My email's there, and you can send me a note.
Fabulous.
And I have all my pricing for my commissioned work and a lot of examples of
Wonderful.
work. So that's
and we'll
a good
leave
way.
it at that here at the beautiful Crawford Lake. And Ian, thanks so much. And
You're
again,
welcome.
studio tour
Thank you.
September 29th and 30th. Our live performance this week is by Stephen Rivers. He grew up in Brookville and he's just returned from Nashville. His music is taking the radio airwaves by storm. This is Steve Rivers.
Hey everybody, my name is Steve Rivers and we're here at Crawford Lake. And I'm going to play a couple songs from my new album called Temptations. This is called When the Time is Right. Could be in a truck bed down where the river bends. I'll be holding you tight in the pale moonlight as the water rolls by. When the time is right, running for your front door through the middle of the downpour, stripping down in the kitchen, laughing and kissing when you get inside. When the time is right. When the time is right, you're gonna give into my love. Gonna wear you down soon enough. You can play hard to get. You can put up a fight. But girl, you're gonna fall when the time is right. Spinning on the dance floor, swinging on the back porch. It could be anywhere, baby, I don't care. It's when the time is right. I'm gonna make you mine. It's when the time is right, you're gonna give into my love. Gonna wear you down soon enough. You can play hard to get. You can put up a fight. But girl, you're gonna fall when the time is right. When the feeling strikes, when the stars line up, when the moon sets in. Gonna kiss you like the world's about to end. 'Cause when the time is right, you're gonna give into my love. Gonna wear you down soon enough. Play hard to get. You can put up a fight. But girl, you're gonna fall when the time is right. Thank you. Well, I'm sitting on a rock with about maybe a good 10-foot, 12-foot drop down. So I survived this. I'm gonna live to tell about it. This is another song off my record. I turned 25 a few months ago and started looking back at my life and all the moments I've come close to dying over crazy things and adventures growing up in a small town. And my friends and I kind of got together and started telling stories, and I decided to put them all together in one song. And this is a song called "Live to Tell About It." We took a ride in my buddy's truck and drove that thing off an 8-foot drop. I should have been killed, but I shook it off and lived to tell about it. Got double dared to jump off Pine Bridge. I didn't tell him that I couldn't swim. I ought to be sleeping down with the fish, but lived to tell about it. lived the tale about it. Well, I've never been known to back away from a fight. I was drunk and he was 6'5". Swallowed my tooth right along with my pride, but lived the tale about it. People say that I've got 9 lives. I just figured that it ain't my time. Every crazy thing that I just barely survived. I live the tale about it. She walked out the door and out of my life. Now she's married to another guy. It hurt like hell, but I'm doing alright. I live the tale about it. 'Cause people say that I've got 9 lives. I just figured that it ain't my time. Every crazy thing that I just barely survived. I live the tale about it. Tale about it. I live the tale about it. I live the tale about it.
Well, that's Art and Soul for this week. If you're a performing or visual artist and you'd like to be featured on an upcoming program, please send us an email. Well, we'll see you next week.